All right, thank you so much for joining us and staying with us. We are going straight now to our second discussion where we have a legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst who's joining us virtually from Rivers State, Burakat. He's in person of Sogbei Eli Esquire. Good morning and good to have you join us.
Good morning, thanks for having me. And good morning, Benin.
All right, let's just go straight now. There seems to be serious tension and disconnection in Rivers State government. Just recently, so many persons have been dropping their resignation letter, which looks like a resignation galore in the states. The governor is saying he's going to take it tough for those who want to distract his government. And while he's also assuring the people of Rivers State that he will be checkmating what happened in the previous administration, which he happens to be the accountant general of that administration. Let's just walk us through. Where did we came from? How did we get here? And is there a way out?
There's always been a way out. The governor is the chief executive of the states per the provisions of the constitution. What that means is the highest authority as far as the territory of Rivers State is concerned. Don't also forget that he was sworn to that constitution to defend it without fear or favor, affection or ill will. So if he appoints a commissioner in his cabinet, the commissioner is answerable to him and him alone. He has a right of hire and fire. So for anybody to be in his cabinet, loyalty to the governor by a commissioner is absolute. The governor himself is loyal to the constitution that gives him powers. So having exercised those powers, by delegating those powers to a commissioner, you don't trade off your loyalty for anything. It doesn't matter who nominated you to serve in the cabinet. So to that extent, the governor is on track. And those who are resigning, in mathematics, we have what they call mutually exclusive terms. If you don't agree with somebody and the agreement gets to a point of irreconcilable differences, you don't have a choice but to walk. In this case, the governor cannot walk. They have to walk. And with respect to the president, when this crisis blew to the open the last time, they tried to unlawfully impeach the governor. It was Nyesom Wike, immediate past governor, and now FCT minister, ran to the president Tinubu for help, not the other way around. Similarly, Efobra has the absolute support of Rivers people in that majority come to the streets and run opinion, you'll see it. So the president tried to apply a political solution, cooked in the office of the chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, to cure a constitutional issue. As you can see, it's not going to work. That's why it's not working. That's why you're having this gale of second round of resignations. But it is farewell to people who are not loyal to the state. They're loyal to one man. And there's nowhere a man is bigger than the state. This is not the time of Louis V of France, where he said, I'm the state, and that's it. This is not a dictatorship, this is a democracy. And there's nowhere in the constitution that says one man can have the power to override the state. Do not forget, this same 1999 constitution, at its own preamble, declared this supremacy, and its supremacy is not questionable. It's binding on all authorities and persons in the preamble. So anything that is contrary to the constitution is unacceptable to us as Rivers people.
Okay, but to an extent, you and I, we know that we are Nigerians, and the immediate past governor is somebody who talks very tough and very loud. He has said recently that he regretted making Similai Fubara governor of the state. Do you think, to an extent, Similai Fubara was actually betraying the trust Wike had on him?
I don't understand. How did Wike himself come? How did Wike himself come to become governor of Rivers State? So when you say Similai Fubara is betraying Wike because they have some differences, how does that stand? Similai Fubara is entitled to do what he has to do, subject to only the constitution, not to Nyesom Wike. So when they say he betrayed him, how? Wike himself came to Government House, Port Harcourt, on the apron strings of the president, former president Goodluck Jonathan and his wife. Are you not aware? Did they allow him? Did they allow them to dictate for him what he should do part-time? Did they hear that they nominated commissioners in his cabinet? This is a governor who left power and looked for a robot to succeed him, and thought in similar life he will find a clone, a robot. He nominated everybody for the man to work with, And then the man should just sit down and take answers because the constitution allows a third term by proxy? No. No. The answer is no. The governor has to be his own man. And up to now, the immediate past governor has not told us what was offense committed by Simela Ifeanyi to warrant an attempt to impeach him. And because the attempt failed, you see what's going on in the House of Assembly? 27 members who are loyal to him and not to the states defected. And what they'll be doing from day one is to sit down in one closet and try to say they're going to override the governor. They can always rely on Section 100 of the Constitution, Sub 5, to veto him, but they don't know that Section 109, Sub 1G had already killed the office. In the Constitution, you don't cherry pick. You don't pick and choose what section of the Constitution to obey. You defect, you have lost your seats. It's self-executory. So those who are thinking that Simela Ifeanyi came to government house to serve the case interest are absolutely wrong with respect.
Okay, Edison here actually emerged as the speaker, Fubara speaker. However, he's currently serving in the state government. We have a new speaker now who is on the side of the governor. But looking at the number that they have constitutionally as a lawyer, do they have the legal standard to operate as House of Assembly members?
Daniel, go to Section 102 of the Constitution. Are you with the Constitution there?
Well, you have to walk us through. That's why we have you as a guest now.
Good. Every action taken by those 4 members is valid. Even if they are 3, that is valid. That's the only membership of the Assembly as of today. When those people defected, the 27 of them, their seats are vacant. The Constitution says they shall, not may. You move from the platform from which you're elected, you lost a seat. Whatever is happening in the court is only a matter of buying time. The court will make that pronunciation because the court itself is bound by the rules of judicial precedent. The Supreme Court had ruled the case of Ifeda Begude against all those states of assembly and others. Way back, that if you defect from parliament, from the party that sponsored the election to another party, except where the provisions of the constitution are present. Number one, that your party went to a merger with another party, all right? So you don't know where to apply your loyalty. 2, there's a division, and the division must be of a national character. That's what the Supreme Court decided in the Begude's case, all right? Except that, or maybe you're appointed, or maybe elected to go to another parliament, you must lose your seat. In this case, there's no division, that's for assembly. In the PDP, River State, not at national level. Bring it down to River State. 3 senators were elected from the PDP. Where are they today? They're still in the PDP. 11 members of House of Representatives are elected from River State out of 13 seats. Where are they? Still in the PDP. So where is this one coming from? To say there's a division so they can leave.
So the question now is,
lost the seats.
Yes. The question should be now, what's delaying INEC from conducting a fresh election for this 27 lawmakers?
I do not know. I don't speak for INEC, but I don't know. I don't know about how the INEC chairman...
If you say the law says that they don't have their seat again, there should be a fresh election. They should be replaced. Don't you think
That's what should happen. No, see, Daniel, if you go to the Constitution, it does not make any provision anywhere that when you defect, you have to wait for the court to pronounce first before you leave. You defect, you have lost the seat. But these people don't have respect for the Constitution, they have respect for God, they have respect for the people of River State. So they are doing a man's bidding, calling Sonwike, as you see in the acts of the commissioners, who resign and come back and resign like a switching off a bulb, a switch in a house off and on. So this is what's going on here. Now, let me be clear on this. Let me be very clear on this. Section 102 puts the question as to whether or not an act, such as we have seen in River State by Victor Kojumbo, can be validated. And I'll take leave if you want me. If you don't have it on screen, I'll read it for you. It is a valid act. And to prompt INEC to conduct elections is not our work. There are cases in court already because some people went to court and thought they could hide under judicial, in the justice system, I say this every sense of responsibility as a lawyer. The wheels of justice grind slowly, so people take advantage of to can buy time, just like happened in Ebonyi State and in Cross River State when the governors moved from the PDP to APC, and then the lawmakers foolishly followed. And this is what advised me, foolishly. Before the court declared the seats vacant, the tenure was already out. So these ones in River State too are hiding under the sheaves of judicial slow grinding wheels. But see, our state is greater than every other person. There are 32 seats. As I speak, I come from Degema constituency. The man that was elected to represent me, Peter B, defected. So I do not have a voice representing me on the floor of the house and speak. And that's wrong. So if they're patriotic and they think that they are very, very popular, yes, so we can tell people that he's popular in River State. Please tell these guys to leave the courtrooms, withdraw their suits. The president asked them to withdraw their suits in that directive they like to cite. Similarly, if Obra asks his people to withdraw, today they are citing the case, the judgment of one Justice James Obatosho of the Federal Court in Abuja. Question is, why was I not withdrawn? Why was I not withdrawn? And in any event, the current government had appealed that judgment and it will be set aside. So, but to make matters easy for all of us, please ask them to submit themselves to the electorate once more. The APC can sponsor them. It's a by-election. Let the PDP field its own candidates and we'll go to the field. If they win, they come back to the house. If they don't win, they go back home. We don't need stress in our states.
But there seems to be a disconnection here. I would like you to help us. When the governor and his godfather, as it were, Yesam Wike, had a peace pact with the president, he actually came back and said he's ready to resign for peace to reign. But all of a sudden, there seems to be a twist in that decision that he actually took. Could it be that there are some stakeholders in the state who are benefiting from this crisis?
I do not know what you mean by that. Daniel, I've said here that the governor is sworn to the constitution, not to the directives of the president.
Okay.
However, by his nature, if you watch him, by his nature, he's a very peaceful young man. So he could take all of that they threw at him. But you see, he's human. Similarly, everybody is a human being. He's not a stone. He's not iron. He has emotions. He could feel pain. So when he's subject to too much pain, he will react. They have pushed him to the wall. Yes, when he says he's ready to resign, or this pact is not a death sentence, this is a father and something, he was only expressing emotions. But those who probably don't like his face or want him to work as a governor on their own terms are not satisfied until they get what they want. The facts are clear. What they want to see is a governor they can just push around as they want. All right? That's what they want. So the man is disposed to peace by his nature. By his nature. And they are taking advantage of the man's peaceful disposition. Their leader, Yesam Wike, will not take a quarter of what similar life Obra has been subjected to. He will not. And you know it, there are antecedents everywhere. President Jonathan and his wife Patience brought Wike to power in 2015. Did you see anywhere, in all of the time he was commissioning projects, in his majorly in the second term, did you see them around River State commissioning one project? Did you see them advise him by the PDP constitution? Wike says he's still a member of the PDP. It was at the last NEC meeting in Abuja. The PDP constitution says the president elected on the party's platform, who's alive, is the leader of the party. President Olusegun Obasanjo is alive, but they are resigned from the party. The next president that was elected on the PDP platform, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, had died. The next living president in the PDP is Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. I seen them consult him on PDP issues. In all of the years, Wike was bringing national chairman of the party from Bunu, Sheriff to Secondus to Ayu. They don't consult him. It's not even his native bias, we have expressing respect. But we're not discussing that. We're discussing River State now. If you brought the man to office, it's okay. Everybody brings somebody else's office. But please allow him to do the work for which he was elected. But at the point of election, it's not only one man's vote that sent it to government house. It's the votes of the majority declared by INEC as lawful and further confirmed by the judicial process.
Okay, just recently, the governor has vowed that he's going to look into the previous administration activities. He happens to be the accountant general of that administration. Is it, to an extent, is it not shooting yourself in the foot, or will this lead to anywhere, as far as this whole toss is concerned?
We should be commending the governor for taking the courage to prove the government he served. That is altruism. That is patriotism. That is putting himself below the constitution of the state. That's a man that has the interest of the state at heart. Many people will not do that. When Nyesom Wike set up a probe to probe the Amaechi administration, remember he served in that government as 2007 to 2011. You know the rest of the story. You know the rest of the story. Yeah. So if Governor Simola Ifabra stepped forward to say he wants to probe the immediate past administration, we should commend him. In any event, let me correct an impression. He did not say which administration wants to probe. He said they will probe the affairs of governance. I was at Attorney General last night and we discussed issues. It has not been given the marching order as to which is the template for the probe. That probe from so point to so point. When the governor gives a clarification, the details will be made public. That's the stand right now. We do not know whether it is related to last week, to last month, to last year, or 8 years ago, or 16 years ago. We don't know. But when the template comes, we will know. Let me also make a further clarification. Section 99 of the Constitution provides for punishment for people like Mehul and Co. who are masquerading as House of Assembly members. The law says if you are not a member of the House of Assembly, you step into the House of Assembly or act in any way, form, or manner to show that you're acting on behalf of the House, you're liable to imprisonment by law passed by the Assembly. I need to make that point clear, Section 99 of the Constitution. So this is so clear. Once you stand on the side of the law and the Constitution, everything will fall in place. Let's leave politics aside. Politics is about is interest-driven. An interest may not be in interest of the entire public, might be the interest of a microcosm or a cabal or a section of the state, and that's not good for us.
So what measures can be taken to establish the integrity of the State House of Assembly so that they will have free course to operate from the executive? Because to an extent, whether I would like it or not, there seems to be this constant interference between the executive and the legislative arm.
First thing first, I want to speak as broad as possible as I can. If you start a process wrongly, the likely outcome of that process may be wrong. The leadership recruitment process in this country needs to be re-examined. When you have a political party conduct primaries for candidates to emerge, and godfathers hijack the process, what do you expect? If a man won an election in the primaries by the popular votes of the party, it is likely that his loyalty will be to the party. When he gets to the general elections and he wins the election by popular votes, his loyalty will be to the Constitution and the people. But once he came from a source where he becomes a puppet, or is created to be a puppet, he will act like a puppet. He will act to protect the interests that brought him and not the interests of the overall. Now, the purpose of government shall be to do the greatest good, the greater number, you know it. So, leadership recruitment must be examined in this country. Civil society organizations, human rights groups, the judiciary, bar association, Nigerian Medical Association, including you guys in the media, particularly exercise of powers in Section 22 of the Constitution, please scrutinize the leadership recruitment process in our country. Until we have a system where House of Assembly members are elected bona fide, we cannot have independence of legislation, 100%. We cannot. That's why you see what's happening in my state, for instance. Those guys, Wike bought their forms for all of them. They are said that openly, everybody knows, including those who refuse to follow the bandwagon. So he thinks that he can control the House Assembly with his remote control from his house in Abuja. And because that's not happening, they are seeing the crisis in the state. So, but it's incumbent on the INEC to bite the bullet. There must be an amendment to the Constitution to allow for those things to come out automatically and take away the power of the judiciary to come and intervene and waste time. If a man knows that, look, if you do this today, tomorrow you're out, he will not attempt it. But because they know that they will cross under the theory of separation of powers, we'll go to court and then we can use all sorts of motions to buy time. And then sit down there. You keep having these kind of things happen.
Okay, as we begin to wind up now, let's get to Edo State. The crisis in Rivers State, to an extent, is not too different from the political landscape in Edo State, as we saw how the former deputy governor was impeached out of office and a new deputy governor has emerged. And just of recent, 3 lawmakers were asked to take a bow out of the hallowed chamber. For reason far-fetched, some of them, according to the allegation leveled against them, that they saw them with fetish things and they're actually working against the stability of the House. What are the constitutional provisions as far as detection and suspension of lawmakers is concerned for both states?
Well, whether we're talking about the Dual House of Assembly of Rivers State or Kano House of Assembly, the House of Assembly is a creation of the Constitution, that's Section 90. And the House of Assembly has the powers to set up its own rules, what they call the House rules, that guide its internal affairs. So I may need to look at the Dual House of Assembly rules to see what it forbids and what it does not forbid. But if I had it well, said 3 members were suspended for coming to the hallowed chamber with fetish materials. It depends on who saw them. It depends on evidence for the general public. Were these materials made public? Did the presiding officer, the speaker, see those people with the materials and they were confirmed to be fetish items? Of course, they have a right to be heard. Their right to fair hearing is constitutionally guaranteed. So if that is the case, does the House rules forbid certain items from coming to the floor of the hallowed chamber? I know, for instance, that in my state, Rivers State, chiefs, apart from wearing bowler hats, they also carry walking sticks up and down. Now, they have a house rule that forbids a member from coming to the floor of the house with a walking stick for the fear of using same if there's a fracas in the house to fight against your horrible colleagues, right? So that house rule forbids you walking to the floor of the chamber with the walking stick as a member of the house. So even if you're a chief, if you're coming, you leave your walking stick in your car or with your aids outside. You don't walk with it into the hallowed chamber. So house rules differ from house to house. The constitution is settled, but when it comes to the internal affairs of the party, of the house rather, the house rules govern the operations of the house per time. And the house rules can be changed per time. So I do not know if those House of Assembly forbids coming to the chamber with handkerchiefs or with a red tie or a red scarf or with feathers or whatever items are deemed to be fetish. We need to know what the house rules prohibit before we can venture an opinion there. I don't like speaking from the altar of ignorance.
Okay, so
as for
let's quickly return back now to Rivers State.
As for the deputy governor,
yeah, go on.
Yes. Yeah, so the deputy governor's impeachment. The constitution is clear about the procedure for impeaching the deputy governor. The question to ask is, were those constitutional provisions complied with? It's not about whether the governor likes the face of the deputy governor or not. Was the impeachment notice served on him? Did he have a right? Did he have a opportunity to defend those allegations in the impeachment notice? Did the chief judge of those states set up the panel to go further to look at the allegations before confirming that he was indeed guilty, upon which recommendations the House Assembly acted? Where these conditions are not complied with, the impeachment is void ab initio. And Supreme Court has said that severally. When Governor Joshua Dariye was impeached by some assembly members, ultra violence of the Constitution, in the case of Dape Along against Dariye, Supreme Court said no, it cannot stand. When Governor Rashid Ladoja of Oyo State was impeached, ultra violence of the Constitution, again, the Supreme Court invalidated it. So the deputy governor shares almost the same powers as the governor of his state. So if he impeached Deputy Governor Shuaibu, ultra violence of the Constitution, he has the right to press for his rights in court. The problem is, where is the time left? The tenure of this current administration will end very soon. I hear it doesn't have elections this year. Otherwise, if you infringe on the Constitution, the law will have its course. Remember that they removed Governor Ngige in Anambra State. All right? Some of his godfathers who went and fell out with them. But he didn't leave office until a tribunal, which sat on this matter, until P2B got his mandate back by the court. That's how Ngige left. So once you want to remove a governor, deputy governor, after the Constitution, the law will take its course. So Edo State needs to look at the removal of Deputy Governor Shuaibu. Did he follow the constitutional due process? If not, so then it's illegal and unconstitutional. It doesn't matter whether it's a citizenship or not.
Okay, so guys, let's now take you to Abuja now. Our colleague in Abuja is also part of this conversation. Tolu Lokpe, take it up from there.
Yeah, quick one right there. Let's take a look. I'll take you back to Rivers State, and some people in some quarters also have the opinion that Governor Fubara has not taken any decisive action against the former governor. In spite of what is really happening, some will cite the example of what the outgoing governor of Edo State talking about, or the current governor of Edo State talking about Obaseki did when against Oshomole, that Fubara has not taken any decision like that in Rivers State. Will you agree with that?
Well, the governor, from what we've seen so far, yes, I agree with you. He hasn't taken any decisive step yet. But we're seeing about we're hitting boiling points right now. If you had the governor speak 2 days ago at the commission of the old body roads from Aleto to Eteo in Elemi local government, he made allusion to the fact that they will set up a pro panel and that they're still paying debts for jobs executed and posted have been paid in full by the past government, by the immediate past governor, now FCD minister. So you're seeing the flames already lighting up for the main blaze to come. But I will not be surprised the days ahead if and when the probe takes off, that the template for what to expect will happen. Until then, we're watching.
Okay. Another area that I want the governor to take a look at, I don't know whether you're also thinking in that regard, is the fact that there has been spate of people withdrawing from government. And I think by now, the governor should have put in a machinery motion to replace it, because the agreement they had is not to be working. He needs to start putting his own men in the scheme of things. Do you think he has done enough in that regard? We had people withdrawing from government, coming back, now withdrawing again. If he happens to be someone who wants to give an advice in that regard, what will your advice be to the governor in that particular area?
So look, the governor is the one that has the ultimate authority to hire and fire. He hired them because somebody recommended them or somebody nominated them. There was a crisis in the states. The president intervened as much as he could politically. But the crisis is one of constitutional nature, which is the House of Assembly. All right? And clearly speaking, what we've seen so far, the political solution to the constitutional issue is not working. So those people are not loyal to the governor, just like House of Assembly members. That's why they're going back and forth. Of course, expect the governor to have an opponent to be his own man. I'm sure the steps he took, including allowing the other lawmakers who have a valid term to sit, is to allow for opportunities to arise for him to complete his cabinet. Of course, he saw on Monday, a new attorney general had emerged after the assembly screened him and confirmed him in the person of Malene Senior, Lenin Silk, Dagogo Ibrahima, Dagogo Israel Ibrahima Square, SAN. So I'm sure the same thing will follow in the days and weeks ahead. Those designations, I think 5 of them or so, happened just yesterday. I'm sure that in the next couple of days, as we approach the weekend into next week, there might be nominations for filling those vacancies. There cannot be any vacuum in government. I'm sure the governor knows that.
Also answering some of the issues pertaining to what is happening in Rivers State, and also not forgetting Edo State right there. But the way things are going right now, hopefully they can find a lasting solution to the problem of Rivers State, because at this point in time, it's the Rivers people that are really suffering from the impasse happening at the topmost level. And hopefully the governor can correct the perception that it appears as if it's a weakling not being able to take decisive action against the former governor. And also start, even though some of the former leaders or former governors of the state have come rally behind him to give him the needed support. But let's hope that the community, just like you said, will be able to give us better insight to what is happening in Rivers State and be able to help us to really find a lasting solution to what is happening right there. But before I let you go, what are the lessons that other states can take, or probably aspiring politicians or politicians can take away from what is happening in Rivers State? It can really be a guide going forward.
Rivers State is only following the template of what has happened elsewhere. Godfatherism cannot work. And then leaders should learn to be men of their words. The FCT minister is at the root of this crisis. He has been at the root of most of the crisis in Rivers State. He said when Governor Akim Ambode was being traumatized in Lagos State, they went there and told him to resist Godfatherism from Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Today, he is the one that wants to preach Godfatherism. He promised severally that when he leaves power, he will not interfere. Yet, before he left, he gathered his men around the governor, from aides to security personnel to commissioners to the House of Assembly. That's why you see the governor can't breathe. What they're saying is going to struggling to breathe. That's why you see the crisis. Those guys are moving back and forth because they're not loyal to the governor. They're loyal to the past governor, immediate past governor. They're not loyal to the constitution. They're loyal to Wiki. All right. So people should learn all over the country that such attempts to manipulate power, outside of what the constitution provides for, will not work in the long term. It will not work. Godfathers and godsons are falling out. In those states, Obaseki fell out with Oshomole. In Anambra State, that's happened several. In most states, you can just mention. There's so many that's happened since 1999, since this probably began. People should allow the constitution be their guide. Every man elected to office, once he works in accordance with the constitution, will not have these frictions. Even the presidents that tried to step into the Rivers State matter using the presidential directive, I'm sure by now you have seen that it didn't work. Not because it didn't mean well, but because they're trying to cure cancer with Panadol. It's not going to work. The problem is deeper than that. All right? Two, if you look at that presidential directive, from ab initio, you know it will fail because out of the 8 points that they lined up there, almost 7, or if not 7, were against the governor. And it was like a man who just signed because had a gun on his head in the villa. As you can see, moving forward, it didn't work because that assembly that I see there that made themselves a stumbling block to the peace process. Only knows Section 105 of the Constitution to override the governor every now and then, to sabotage him from within. The commissioners you see sit down in ESCO. The next thing they are doing things that are contrary to the governor. Wiki comes to town, you see them there. They are busy governor. That's not how it works. So going forward, people should learn to stick with the rules of the game, which is what does the Constitution say per time. Once you follow the Constitution, all of this will happen. I will have peace in the climate.
Yes, and hoping that in the coming days, the political tension in Rivers State will actually diffuse and everyone in the state will breathe, including the executive governor of the state, Similai Fubara. Thank you so much, Sobey Eli Esquire, for joining us. And we appreciate you. We'd like to have more of you on TMI.
Thank you. Edo is our home from ancestral history. So thanks for having me.
Okay, it's always a delight.
Thank you.